Okay, so something really fascinating is happening right in the middle of one of the most secular cities in the world. It's this huge revival among America's youngest adults, but it's definitely not what you'd expect. I want you to just picture this for a second. In the heart of New York City, there's a place that's so packed, it's standing room only. The line to even get inside snakes all the way around the block every single Sunday. But here's the thing. This isn't for the newest brunch spot or some exclusive sneaker drop. It's a centuries-old Catholic church, and somehow it's become a major hotspot for Gen Z. So the big question is, what is really going on here? All right, so let's dive in. Our story takes us to Greenwich Village, to a place called St. Joseph's Church. And this is where nearly 2 centuries of history are smashing right into a very modern and totally unexpected movement. This is where the story gets so interesting, right? On one hand, you've got St. Joseph's, this historic institution founded way back in 1829. And on the other hand, its newest parishioners are almost all Gen Z, mostly in their early 20s. And for a lot of them, this is the first time they've ever really engaged with organized faith. It's wild. And listen, we're not just talking about a small handful of new people. To give you an idea of the scale here, on Ash Wednesday recently, the line to get into the church literally stretched all the way around the corner. This is a massive, undeniable surge. Even the people running the church are kind of scratching their heads. One of the priests there called it a groundswell and said he's just never seen anything like this in his entire career. So you know this isn't just a successful program. It feels like something way bigger is happening. So that gets us to the real heart of it all. What's the draw? I mean, why would a 22-year-old in New York City, of all places, choose to go to Mass on a Sunday night when they could be doing literally anything else? Well, when you actually ask the young people who are showing up, you start to hear these same ideas over and over. They talk about wanting to find a universal truth in a world that feels kind of chaotic. They're looking for structure, for a real, authentic community, and for a kind of fulfillment that, frankly, their jobs just aren't giving them. For some, it's as simple as finding a safe harbor in a city that can feel pretty overwhelming. And this quote from one young person, wow, it just says it all. They're there to get the fulfillment you can't seek anywhere else on this earth. It's really a search for something deeper, something the material world just doesn't seem to offer. And get this, one person came back to St. Joseph's after being away from the church for 25 years. They were probably expecting a pretty quiet, older crowd. Instead, they said they were just shocked to walk into this vibrant, energetic community filled with young people. That one experience was enough to bring them back for good. But, a movement this powerful doesn't just happen by accident. It's not random. The church has been really intentional about creating this whole ecosystem for connection. They figured out how to turn a regular Sunday service into a full-on community event. Okay, so a huge part of their success is this post-Mass formula they've got. It starts off with a social mixer, wine and cheese, very chill. Then about 150 people actually stick around for a group meeting. And that's where the priest leads this deep dive into all sorts of stuff. Theology, philosophy, culture. It's a space where you can actually connect with people and ask the big questions. And the discussion group, it's not just some casual get-together. It has this really cool name, In Unum Est Veritas. It's Latin and it means in one there is truth, which just goes to show this is a community built around this shared search for meaning. They're also really smart about catering to different tastes. The morning Mass has more of that traditional church music. But the 6 p.m. Mass, that's the one that's drawing these huge young crowds. It features more contemporary music. It's this perfect blend of old and new, and it's clearly working. So all of this makes you wonder, right? Is this just a really cool, isolated thing happening in Greenwich Village? Or are we maybe seeing the very first signs of a much bigger picture? A larger shift? Well, as it turns out, this isn't just happening at St. Joseph's. Priests all across the United States are starting to report the same thing, a noticeable rise in young people coming to church. And get this, it's even being noticed by clergy in other countries. It's become a serious topic of conversation among religious leaders all over the world. As one reporter covering this pointed out, we hear so many stories and trends about young people, and almost all of them are negative. This, on the other hand, is what they called a singularly positive trend. It's a story about community and purpose and belonging. So, we're left with this final massive question. Is this just a passing fad, a temporary reaction to our crazy world? Or could this be the start of a really profound shift in how an entire generation searches for meaning? I guess only time will tell.